Hello, Gemini. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Gemini is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Gemini, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with that devil energy. This is the engine of the car. You are intensely motivated right now. I feel like you have a power inside of you that is pushing you to the top of some mountain. Okay? This card is asking us, what is our motivation? What is it that's fueling this engine? This is the engine of the car. It doesn't care what mountain you're climbing, what road you're on, doesn't care what you're doing, just wants to have the power, wants to feel the power, wants to produce the power. So we have to ask, am I climbing the right mountain? Right? Any mountain, you put any mountain in front of this goat, it's going to climb it. Okay? We also have to ask, what fuel, what am I putting into the engine so that it can take me to the top here? And, you know, do I need more fuel or fuel of a different kind? Yeah, so let's look at that. Let's use our Dove and Serpent spread. We need a little bit of context. We've got a tower. Okay. We've got the sun. We've got the death card. We have the universe card. Are we going to go 5 for 5 here? Let's see. Oh my gosh, yes. Wow. That is, I don't think that's ever happened before. All major arcana energies. Every single one of these cards is a major arcana. That is cool. Let's see, Path of the Serpent. Okay, we're starting with the Hierophant. Let's keep going. 2 of Swords, 6 of Swords, Ace of Swords. Wow, that's pretty good too. This is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. A lot of majors and some air cards. So this is really about our decisions, our plans, our clarity, and our moving forward here. Okay, we have to understand what kind of fuel we're putting into this, and I think that's part of our death card here, right? Kind of recycling of energy, and how it is a lot of things from our past that we're letting go of. I think you've done a lot of internal work. You've done a lot of karmic work. Okay, and for some reason, Spirit's telling me that you don't like cotton balls. Kind of saying anything but cotton balls. So I don't know what that is. There's an issue maybe with the sound or the texture, perhaps, of the cotton balls. Anyway, let's select a mystery card. Bonus card, confirmation card. This is, well, I guess it's this one. Sort of jumped out. We're going to put Alien Simon Mork Ripley right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. But it will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during this message you feel like you might know what that card could be, put your prediction in the comments down below. Now, let's take a look around the room. We have all this major energy, and we've got our air cards, okay? So this is kind of like a lot of things are happening to you in the spiritual realm. A lot of things that are outside of your control here. What we can do is control our decisions, control how we think, and control what we focus on, control how we are trying to sort of clear our mind and allow the intuition, allow the spiritual downloads to come in. We're sort of letting Spirit take over here, okay? We're kind of letting go and letting God in a way. But we've got the Tower. And to me, this feels like we're breaking through the ceiling. It feels like the goat is full of energy. The engine has a lot of gas, right? And what is the energy? What is the engine but that mechanism that produces energy, right? It's got the same sort of root word. So I feel that the Tower is a breakthrough. The Tower is kind of like saying, hey, we're almost at the finish line here. Let's just step on the gas. Let's stay focused. Let's keep going. Feel like your life is about to change in major, major ways. Okay? Spirit's saying something about a medical professional in your life in the past missed something that later on you understood what they missed. I don't know if this happened as a child, or maybe it happened to somebody close to you, but they missed something, and then you became aware of it, and then you had to go, you kind of went back and pointed it out to them, or something along those lines. Yeah. The Tower is a turning point in life. The Tower is an abrupt change. It's an exclamation point. And we're bringing it about. Because of our efforts, we're bringing about the breakthrough. Okay, so let's not forget that this card is the central card. That's your endurance. That is you staying committed, staying fired up, staying motivated in whatever way you can, right? And you're keeping yourself going up the mountain, and this breakthrough is happening. This is a moment of novelty. This is something very significant that's going to happen for you. That's going to, like, you're going to tell your kids about it, and your kids' kids, and your kids' kids' kids. This is a story that you're going to tell for the rest of your life. The Tower moments are these peak experiences in life that we will never forget. It's the moment everything changes. It's disruptive. Sometimes it feels as if this is not so pleasant, right? It shakes us. It rattles the entire world. But what it does is it shakes off the final blockages that are preventing full enlightenment here, full release, full attainment, full achievement, full success. Okay? It's the last obstacle between you and your star. Okay? Your external goal, let's say. Right? The Tower is, sometimes it's an event that happens in our life that signifies the ending of a chapter and the beginning of the next chapter. So it's kind of like it's the breakthrough. It's when we've gotten through the ceiling, and now the old ceiling becomes the new floor because we've leveled up. Okay, so I feel like you're leveling up. I feel like this might be even like a spontaneous Kundalini awakening, but it's not spontaneous in the sense that we're just going about our day, then suddenly we have an awakening. Right? I think it's through a long time of a lot of work, right? A lot of dedication, a lot of commitment, a lot of really intense work. But it may feel like it's happening suddenly. Okay? You have good cards of change here. You have the Death card and the Tower. Both of these cards are change cards. But this is the abrupt change. This feels like overnight change. Tomorrow, things are going to be absolutely different for you. Feels like it's happening overnight, but of course we know that's not the case. It's taken a lot of work. The Death card is slow and steady change over the course of time. It does not happen overnight. The appearance of things, it might be an overnight change, but there's been a lot of work that's gone into it. Okay. Spirit's telling me that you study a lot of different maybe spiritual traditions or religious traditions, that you sort of have a very broad knowledge of different cultures or different traditions. It's kind of the word that I'm hearing. Yeah, different traditions. The Death card is I think, really a lot of work. A lot of slow and steady progress, gradual change over the course of time. This is the nature of nature. And I think that for a long time you've been embracing change, and you've been okay that it's been slow, right? You can't, we have the Universe card. The universe wasn't built in a day, right? And so it may have been a long time, and you may be getting to that point where it's like, okay, better hurry up and get here because I'm getting tired. Right? And my engine is starting to kind of run out of gas, and maybe it needs a tune-up pretty soon. But you understood that this path was going to be a long-term thing. This was a goal that it's probably been years. Okay, it's probably taken you a long time to make the progress that you've been making. It's a slow and steady climb up the mountain. It's not a sprint. It's been a marathon for you. Okay, this is the same card that we kind of say when we're going to the gym. We're just doing the work every day consistently. If every day we run home, we look in the mirror and we think, I'd look the same, we're gonna be discouraged, right? Because every day when we look in the mirror, I look the same as I did yesterday. But the idea is over time, checking in a couple months later, oh yeah, now, okay, I can see there's a big difference, a few months ago for me, this shirt, I couldn't fit into this shirt. You haven't seen me wear this in a long time, right? Because I couldn't fit into it. Now I can, and it's pretty comfortable. And so I haven't tried to fit into this shirt in a while. So we notice the effects of things in big chunks. It's on the day-to-day, we're just trying to put in the work. But when we look back at where we've been, we can see that we've made just a ton of progress. Okay, I think that you've had to let go of a lot of things in your life that weren't meant for you. You let things. I think that's kind of what you're working on in life. Letting things come and go, holding on very lightly to things, to people, and to experiences. Loving them with all your heart and being completely, being completely immersed in other people, in life, in events, and things, and connections, but understanding that we have to hold them lightly because things can go at any moment. Okay? For some reason, I feel like you've had a lot of grief in your life. And maybe the grief has been motivating for you. Maybe you're trying to use, as Castaneda and Don Juan would say, using death as the advisor. Death is always behind you and like 2 feet to the left or whatever, right? So it's always angling toward you. And I feel that we use that realization that says, you know what, I don't know how much time I have left, so I better get to work. I better get started now, The older I get, I start to wonder, the years that I've already spent here, I'm 44 years old, I think. I've spent 44 years here. Do I have 44 more? Maybe. Maybe not. Who knows, And so I think the older we get, it's kind of like, when I'm 60, do I have 60 years left? Probably not. Okay. And I'm not trying to scare anybody. I feel like this is something that we have to, if you're here watching a tarot reading, you have some sort of sense of the divine or of spirit or of this cosmic kind of energy. Okay. So I feel like we understand that, at some point we will pass on from this material realm and we will be starting a new adventure, right? Death is a sort of a doorway. Yeah. Birth and death is a sort of the grand doorway. There are a lot more doorways in our life. In the course of our life, I think we start many adventures and we conclude many adventures, and the cycle goes on and on. I feel like you're about to have this breakthrough that sort of completes a cycle for you. And I think it's going to be very, very significant. Okay? The Sun card down beneath the surface here, you're having a sort of a realization of your cosmic nature. I feel like I feel like this is an enlightenment. I really feel like this is a spiritual awakening, a spiritual breakthrough. And I feel like you're coming to really know your true self. And I feel like that is kind of one of the most important things that we can do in life, is try to get in touch with that deeper self of ours, our solar nature. That part of us that may exist outside time and space and is not subject to the sort of the material world, the rules of the material world. Okay, this is a card of enlightenment. This is a card, I think, that's also in conjunction with that death card. I feel like you've been having a lot of past life memories. Okay, and I feel like you've been getting a lot of you've been having visions. Maybe through dreams, but I don't even think it's through dreams, like when you're asleep. I think it's just literally like the vision will come to you. You'll have a picture that emerges of what your life is going to be and where you're headed and what your universe will be and what your place in the universe is. Okay. This is an inner illumination that I think has been guiding you on your path toward your destiny for a long, long time. And I think we're continuing to acknowledge that, recognize that, appreciate that, and make decisions that honor that. Okay? The universe card is the card of delay, right? It's kind of saying like this has been a long journey for you, that you've waited a long time for this. And even to the point where we've started to sort of question whether or not it was ever going to happen, or whether we were ever going to arrive somewhere or make it, or sort of get through the ceiling, or get through this particular blockage. But despite this sort of feeling like a never-ending mountain, you've kept climbing. Yeah, you've never given up. And so you're realizing now that it is your inner sun, your true self, your soul, that is creating the outer world for you. That you're creating your own reality here. This is the ultimate version of the fire and earth electrical circuit of creation, right? The sun and the universe. And I think that is, that's like literally creating worlds. So I think that this is the highest octave of what I call the fire and earth spiritual electrical circuit of creation. Okay, so you are acting as a creator, okay, in a cosmic sense, in a broad, very broad sense, but also locally in your life. I feel like you're about to have a significant change in your circumstances. I feel like financially, things are going to really start to skyrocket for you in some way. Okay, as we go through this final initiation, so to speak. We're getting to our destiny. We're getting to the star. And I think the star was, at first it felt like a very distant goal. It was something, the star is just a little pinpoint of light out there in the universe somewhere. But you've been pursuing it relentlessly through the universe, through time and space, across light years, right? And I think you're finally arriving. I think we're getting past the last blockage, and we're going to arrive here. Now, Spirit's saying that you wear a lot of really bright colors or something like that's kind of your, I don't know, that you don't wear like the dark and muted colors. You like to wear bright things, I guess. The star is our destiny. It's our North Star. Out of all the stars in the night sky, this one is yours. And well, it's you. It's internal, but it's also external. Okay? And I think that it's one of those weird quantum things where the star can be in two places at once. And so we realize that what we're seeking is inside of us, and that is also illuminating the path in front of us that we're supposed to travel to sort of get where we're going in life and do what we're supposed to do and sort of be who we are. I feel like you know who you are. You have a very strong sense of who you are, but then the why am I here part, I think that's the illumination that's taking place. That's the breakthrough. That's the awakening. And I think that it's sort of all coming together at once. I feel like it's going to appear as an overnight change, even though it's been a long time coming. Okay. We're finally like realizing the star. I think we're getting confirmation about who we are and why we're here. And we're going to stay committed to that path, and we're staying committed to our North Star, and things are going to improve for you tremendously. Now, Spirit's showing me a sunflower, a field of sunflowers. I don't know if you got married with sunflower theme, or if that is kind of an important flower for you, or if it's symbolic of something for you, right? On the path of the serpent, we start out with our Hierophant, and you are the Hierophant here, right? And that to me is perfect. This is the best place for the Hierophant because you're trusting your inner guide. You're trusting your own inner spiritual guide to show you what is sacred for you, to show you the way things are supposed to be for you. Okay, so I think you're in touch with higher self, true self, God, Goddess, deity. I feel like you have a direct channel to Spirit, and I wonder if you are, through this breakthrough, through this tower event, if it's sort of allowing you to realize that you possess a certain wisdom that the rest of the world needs. Because I feel like you're kind of reluctant to accept some kind of a role here. We have a Six of Swords in the position of the obstacle. And to me, this feels like this is you communicating your wisdom or communicating your journey. I almost feel like Spirit wants you to write about your experiences or share them with the world in some way. Mercury in Aquarius here with the Six of Swords. It's in the position of the difficulty for you. Maybe you find it difficult to talk about yourself, or you find it difficult to acknowledge that you have experienced one heck of a journey and other people can benefit from hearing your story. This might be that you have your own theories of the universe. You have your own sort of philosophical system. And Spirit wants you to write it down and share it and put it out there because the world needs that, right? And I don't think you believe that it is the absolute truth, that your way is the best way and everything else is no longer relevant. I feel like what you have is contributing to the knowledge base of the universe. What you have to share is very necessary. And there's a place for it out in the world. And so start your YouTube channel, write your book, write your essays, do your blog, whatever it is, right? However you're expressing that, whether it's through music maybe or dance or I don't know. Share what you've been through with others, okay? And the Two of Swords is in the position of your relationships. There's a decision that you have to make with regard to a particular relationship. I'm getting an H name, a letter H for you, and there's some relationship that you have with an H named person, and I don't know what decision you have to make with them, but it's kind of like something's been pending, and something's been on the table, and you kind of have to finally decide something. And I don't know if this has to do with your communication or your sharing of your story, or like, to sort of like, you got to take advantage of this opportunity. You got to say yes to something, or maybe this is about an existing relationship. But there's a letter H, and I don't know if it's the name of a business or a publishing company or a YouTube channel, or I don't know, or it's the other person or something. But there's some pending decision that we've been putting off. And I think that part of this Tower moment is your third eye opening. I think you're having a sudden realization, a sudden awakening, and a vision of everything, and you know now exactly what decision to make. Okay, that's gonna come to you in a flash of clarity, like a lightning bolt of certainty, and you're gonna know without a shadow of a doubt what the right choice is. Okay. And then we talked about our Six of Swords, but this is the idea of the divine plan, okay, as well as sort of this idea of you sort of sharing what's on your mind. I think that for a long time you were climbing the mountain, but you didn't have a full picture. You didn't have a full plan. You didn't have the GPS directions, This is the map of the stars. And what is a map but just a picture of the whole thing? These are the driving directions, the map, and this is the route. Okay, so they're different, right? This is the route that we're going to take, and this was the difficulty for you, because I think that you didn't always understand the route. You saw maybe the whole map. You said, okay, I'm starting here, and I want to get over there, but I don't know the route through all the twists and turns through the streets to get there. And so I think that a lot of this was, accepting the messages from Spirit, being tuned in and letting Spirit guide you. Because sometimes the Tower moments are these almost catastrophes that happen in life, these big major events that split our path off into a new direction. Every time we get a tower, our life does a 90-degree turn. Then we get another tower, 90 degrees. We go along for a while, another tower, 90 degrees. Right? So these are always turning points. These are always big changes in life that happen like that, even though it doesn't work quite like that, we know. And I think that you've been trusting in Spirit, and that's why we have the Death card, because I think every Tower event that happens, it's sort of like we try our best to accept it and learn what we need to learn from that and make the changes we need to change, but recycle the energy. Right? We realize that every event is an important part of the story, even if we don't understand the navigational directions. We see the map, and we're on the fly. We're sort of improvising as we go. We're letting Spirit sort of guide us. on this journey to our destination, even though we don't have the turn-by-turn directions. Okay, and that's always been kind of an issue for you, but we're learning how to just accept what Spirit has presented us. And that's really part of this Ace of Swords. This is a card of clarity. It's not the card that says, I know all the answers. It's the card that says, I don't have any questions. I don't need any answers. Spirit is sending me what I need to know as I need to know it. Maybe we're not going to get the entire plan at once. We're going to get just little pieces of it here and there, and that's going to be enough for us to make the decisions we have to make now. So the Tower events, they happen over and over and over again. And they're always enlightening. They're always disruptive. They always mean, change again. But they're always enlightening. And it's Spirit giving us the little pieces of the puzzle that we need in order to deal with what's going on in our life right now and make the changes that we're required to make. So this is a card of clarity. It's a card of certainty. It's a card of faith, really. Even if we don't have all of the answers all at once. If we had all the information all at once, we wouldn't know what to do with it anyway. Spirit sends us just what we need, those downloads, right? Just what we need at the time in order to get through whatever moment we're in. Yeah. Let's look at the mystery card. Maybe an Empress card. I feel like it's going to be more major arcana. Maybe a 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups. Could be a card of cycles, right? Maybe Wheel of Fortune, maybe the Lover's card. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments down below. Let's see what we have. 7 of Cups. Interesting. 7 of Cups is, it's a difficult card because it's a card of emotional distractions. But when we look around the room here, we don't have any water cards, do we? We don't. So this might be Spirit offering us a little bit of reward, kind of saying that, look, we've been working really, really hard. We deserve a little bit of indulgence, a little bit of repose. I think that we don't want to mistake this for the goal. Okay, and again, we're sort of holding on to things lightly, right? And so I think that this is a lot of good things coming your way, that we don't want to get attached to them. We don't want to cling to them. We don't want to overdo it. But we can certainly enjoy the fruit of our labor right now, knowing that there's going to be more labor. There's still more work to do. There will always be more work to do. But that we should enjoy this part of the journey and celebrate the breakthrough a little bit, celebrate this leveling up. And, it's kind of like after you win you win the basketball game, you're going to celebrate a little bit, but not too much because we got to go train tomorrow. Maybe we get a day or two off, but then we got another game, right? It's like we can't just, it's not the end of the road. But we deserve a little bit of celebration, a little bit of joy, a little bit of pleasure, a little bit of indulgence. Get yourself a bowl of ice cream. Take the hot bath. So I think this is really a little bit of icing on the cake, but not too much. Just enough. Now we're going to do an extended reading as well. If you want to stick around, we're going to do an I Ching hexagram. We're going to do some oracle cards. There is a link in the corner, and there's a link down below. New readings for Gemini, Mondays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. These readings are totally free. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.